Alex Hormozi is dropping his brand new book, $100 Million Money Models, and the funnel that he's using to launch here is, well, let's just say not what you'd expect from a guy pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars. I've built funnels that have generated over $40 million in sales, and today I'm going to share with you exactly what Hormozi is doing. The smart moves, the subtle psychological plays, and yes, even the mistakes that I believe is costing him and his team big time. His last book launch saw over 200,000 people tune in live, and this year his ambitious goal is over 1 million people joining live. But what funnel is he using to pull this off? Well, by the end of this video, you'll not only understand his entire launch strategy step by step, but you'll also know exactly which tactics you should steal and which ones you should perhaps avoid. So let's dive in. What we're looking at here is the registration page for the event. And at the time of you watching this, the event may have already happened. You're still going to get a ton of value watching this breakdown. The event's happening on August 16th. Now, I think there's some great stuff that they've done on this page, and I think there's some massive missed opportunities. Now, I'm not saying I have all the answers and that I'm the best marketer on the planet, but what you also need to understand is that the same is true for Alex and his team. The bigger your brand gets, as Alex's has, he has to rely on team members to do some of this stuff for him, and they can make mistakes. So they've done some great stuff, but they have missed some things, which we're going to point out. So let's scroll down the page and take a look. First thing that I like that they've done, and I've seen great success with this with my sales funnels and that of my clients as well, is that when you're getting someone registered for a free event, which this book launch is, you don't need a big page. You don't need a whole bunch of information with loads of different sections down the page. We want this page to be something that I call the pinch point. You do all the work up front, which Alex has done, his content, his brand, all of the stuff that he's done on the front end on social media. And on the back end, he's going to be selling his books and doing all the conversion stuff and running the event. This is the pinch point, where you just need someone to give you their name, email, and phone number and register for the event. We want it to be impulsive. We don't want them to land on a page where there's a whole bunch of information and it takes 10 minutes to read it all, because you are increasing your chances that people are going to click away from the page, get distracted by something else, and never have opted in, and you may lose that lead forever. So we will need to get them to land on the page, read the copy, say, this is for me, click that button and opt in. And we ideally want that to happen in the first few seconds. I also really like that they are going heavy on intrigue in this particular version of the page. We've got, this book is so good it should be illegal. That's the only headline, there's nothing else. It makes you feel like, well, what is in this book? If I'm interested in this topic and I'm interested in Alex's training, it sounds like I must have this book, and I'm gonna have massive FOMO if I miss out. So I like that. 4 surprise bonus gifts, again, leaning heavy on the intrigue. Alex has done a whole bunch of Facebook ads that talk about bringing 5 mystery guests to the event. Again, intrigue. So he's going heavy on intrigue, which is a really good driver for someone to make that impulsive decision to register, because this is all so curious. I also like that he's got the important information at the very top of the page. It's a live book launch event. We've got the date straight away. This is all above the fold. And even in the big purple button, you've got the times as well. So everything is clear. And we talk about this in the marketing world. You want to have all the information that is critical for the viewer above the fold, so that they can make that impulsive decision, and they would only scroll down the page further if the stuff up here hasn't quite done the job. So as we scroll down, we've got a countdown for when the event starts. Love it. We've got 5-star social proof there. Love it. We've got more social proof of people actually holding Alex's books. And again, this is great. It shows that they're going to be a part of something, of a community. People love to feel a part of something. And this is showing that they will on the other side of this page. And again, social proof with just how many of the books that they've sold. And at the very bottom of the page, we've got another button to opt in. This might seem pointless, but it's actually not. There have been so many studies on sales funnels done that you need to make it so stupid simple for people to do and perform the action that you're asking them to. So if this was the only button you had and you scroll past it to get to this information and there isn't another one, you genuinely risk people leaving the page and not pressing the button if they had to scroll back up to it. It's wild, but it actually works. You can increase your conversion rates by having another button that is exactly the same as the one above further down the page when you scroll past the previous one. So they've got that in there. Again, really like it. They've got all their copyright information too. So they've done some stuff on this page I really like. Let's get to the things that I'm not so keen on. So I've got a couple of small things, and then I've actually got some pretty big things that I think if Alex's team had done this, they would see a significant increase in conversions. But let's start with the little things. He mentions here YouTube live book launch event. Now, I can't get my mind off this. To me, that is going to lose him opt-ins. Why? Because someone's going to see YouTube live and they're going to know that that means it's streaming onto YouTube. So there is a chance in the subconscious mind of the person on this page, there's a chance that they don't need to register and can still get this information. That if they just make a note of the date and time, that they can go to his YouTube channel and they can watch it live. And if they remember from last year, if they've been in his community long enough, they'll know that he did stream publicly the event last time on his YouTube account. It wasn't an unlisted launch, it was public. So for some people, they're going to see that and maybe not opt in. And I was one of those people. I thought, oh, I'll just come back to his YouTube channel at that day and time and I'll see it there. So that's losing them opt-ins, I believe. Second thing is we've got the time of the event down here in the button, but it's not accompanying the date at the top. And these little things do just make just a little difference. This may not make a difference to opt-in, but it might make a difference to people being aware of the time. And of course, they're registering. We also need them to know when the event's happening so they can actually show up. So those were a couple of little things. There's another little thing, which is we've got this picture of Alex. I'm not really a fan of it not having a border and looking a bit maybe dysfunctional on the page, but you could save space above the fold, meaning you can add more stuff that might actually help the opt-in. If we would just take Alex's face there, still have the brand presence, which is Alex is the brand, but let's just move him up to the top right or the top left and have him here on the side. That would open up this space for a little bit more what we would call supporting copy, so that if the headline doesn't quite get the job done, then the supporting copy might, and we could still fit all of that in above the fold. And one more smaller thing while we're talking about supporting copy is as we scroll down, there isn't much, right? Like usually on an opt-in page like this, particularly if the headline's pretty slim and focusing on the curiosity play, then you would, as you scroll down, lean into that and have a few more bullet points. Because the idea is that if someone reads that top headline, if they don't want it, they'll leave. Okay, bye-bye, they're gone forever. If they do want it, then they'll opt in. And if they kind of want it, but they're not convinced enough yet to opt in, then what do? They linger on the page. So we need them to scroll down and see more stuff that might get them off the fence and get them to opt in. And so social proof, great, but we would also have some supporting bullet points that would focus on different elements of the event. I would, for example, reinforce what he has done in his ads, which is that he's got 5 mystery guests. Some of the biggest entrepreneurs in our space are going to be joining this event. Okay, well, I want to know who those 5 are. So having bullet points like that would really help. Now there's a couple of big things. By the way, if you're enjoying this content and learning more about how to create high converting sales funnels that actually win you clients, I've got a brand new 5-day challenge called wintheclients.com. There's a link to register in the description box. And on day 3, we're specifically talking about just this. How do we make these tweaks and build the right funnels so that you win more clients? It's going to be epic. I'd love to have you there. Click the link in the description box and I'll see you on the Win the Clients challenge. The first thing is that I've been watching this launch closely for the past couple of weeks and they have not once, to my knowledge, changed or tested a different version of this page. So they've had this one page the entire time. Now, there are pros and cons to doing that. And when you've been in the game long enough, you do kind of just get a feel for what works. You don't have to split test your way to your first version. You just have your first main version and away you go. And so Alex and his team, I imagine, already had enough data from past promotions to inform a really good, what we would call control page for the launch. And also I've seen in their advertisements, they actually do show this page, which means if you burn an image of this page into your video ad, then you can't confuse your audience by then them clicking on the link and coming to a different version of the page. They're going to be confused. You're going to get lower opt-ins. So they force their hand now to use the same page. I think this is a mistake because I've done split tests in the past where I've had a really good control page that I'm very happy with, and it converts at, let's say, 15%. 100 visitors land on the page, 15 of them opt in. And then I split test a completely different version of the page. I tried different colors, different headlines, different layouts, and I've taken a 15% opt-in rate, not to 16% or 17%, I've doubled it to 30%. Now what that does for the business is it doubles everything. If we can get twice as many people through the front door, everything on the back end is double. Meaning, if this page right now for Alex is getting a 15% conversion rate, and he's going for 1 million people, and currently he's on a trajectory to get 500,000 people, by making a tweak to this page and deploying a split test that doubled the opt-in rate, he would hit his goal with no extra effort. Now, for all I know, this page converts at 70% and his team are happy, and that's why they've not changed it. That could be the case, but it could also be the case that they've neglected the split testing and there's massive opportunity they've missed. The second big thing, and it goes hand in hand with what I've just mentioned there, is that they are only speaking to the people that get caught up in the curiosity of this page, whereas you've got to understand different people take an action for a different reason. Some people will opt in because they're simply curious, which is what this page focuses on. But if they did a split test or had a different version of the page, have focused on people that want the details. Some people won't be baited by curiosity. They've fallen for that trick before. They will only opt in if it's very clear in the copy that what they're about to opt in for is exactly what they wanted. Other people are going to opt in specifically for prizes and for fun. Other people are going to opt in primarily for community. So there are different drivers for people opting in. And right now, Alex and his team, with such an ambitious goal of getting 1 million people, they're only speaking to potentially a small subsection of Alex's audience. If you're enjoying this breakdown and getting some great golden nuggets, this was just page 1, and now let's progress through to the rest of the funnel. So we're on this page, we do decide we want to opt in, and we click this button to go ahead and enter our details. A couple of cool things happening here on this pop-up. Number 1, name and email. That's great. We always want that. Number 2, we've got a phone number field so that we have, of course, a phone number for these leads, which makes them so much more valuable. One thing that his team missed on this, though, is that when I tested this, the phone number was optional. It wasn't mandatory. I've done so many tests in so many different industries, and it does not hurt conversions at all by making it mandatory. Some people might then put a fake number in, and that's fine, but we haven't seen a reduction in conversion rate. But of course, we do then get an uplift in how many numbers we generate. And so for Alex and his team, they do a lot of phone sales. It would be epic for them to get as many numbers as possible. We've then got a little mini quiz. This is great. A 1-question quiz alongside an opt-in is so awesome. It really helps you understand your leads a little bit more. You can put them in separate buckets. After the event, you can promote slightly different things to these subsections of the list based on where they currently are in their business journey. So that's a really cool idea. And then before you click yes, claim my spot, this is awesome. Whoever on Alex's team decided to do this, props to you. I think this is fantastic. We've implemented something called a micro commitment. And we've got this little tick box that says, I want a VIP ticket. Now, I've tested opting in for this multiple times, ticking the box and also not ticking the box. And guess where you go? In both scenarios, you go to a VIP upgrade page. What's the point of this? The point is that that button basically does nothing. It doesn't change anything about the experience or the journey for the person opting in, but it does increase, most likely, the intent of the person who did click that button to follow through with that micro decision and actually upgrade on this page. I imagine Alex and his team are testing this, and I also imagine that when people click that box or tick that box, that they do see a higher conversion for those people on the next page. And it's because it's a psychological trick. The game in marketing is if you've got a big action you want someone to take. In this scenario, it's upgrade for VIP, which is going to be the first time they're going to be asked for a payment. Then we want to initiate small actions that lead up to it. And if we get yeses in some of those smaller actions, we're more likely to get the yes at the end. Okay, you can use this in so many different areas of business. This one is great. Tick that box, I want a VIP ticket. Not even really sure what that means, but I'll tick it. Now I land on this page where I think I'm being offered a VIP upgrade because I ticked the box. I'm far more likely to follow through. I love that. So then whether we tick the box or we don't, everyone lands on this page to be offered a VIP experience. This is awesome. If you're running a free event, you should absolutely have some kind of paid upgrade. If you go and check out my 5-day Win the Clients challenge, you will experience the same. You can register for the event and there will be an offer to upgrade to VIP. You should always do this. There are always people that want that VIP experience. And I must admit, there is more on this page that I like than I don't like. So let's just go through the things that I think they've done really well, and we might uncover a couple of things that perhaps they could change. They've confirmed at the top that they've registered, and there's one more step, so don't exit this page. That's always a really a good idea. I also, before we progress any further, I want to move this across and have a look at the mobile version of the page, because right now mobile traffic is so prevalent, and we need to make sure that we're actually designing pages for mobile, not just desktop. And so if we have a look at the mobile version of this page, it's really clean, it flows really, really well, it's not too long, and so I'm really happy with that. I just wanted to point that out, that mobile optimizing your pages right now is super important. But let's go back to desktop. It's a bit easier for us to navigate in this way. Notice at the top it says live virtual event. It doesn't say YouTube live. So that is the exact suggestion that I would have made for this page here. We'll take out the word YouTube. They've done it on the VIP page. They should have done it, I think, on the registration page too. Video from Alex is great. We've got the countdown for the event, confirmation of the date and time, and all the information on upgrading to VIP, which I must admit, for the price of $29.99, I think the bonuses and what you get for upgrading to VIP is actually pretty good. So I've got no doubt that this page converts pretty well, and I think a lot of people will be enticed to do that. At the bottom of the page, we've got FAQs, and anytime you've got a page that is selling something and you don't have the luxury of one-to-one communication to inform them of certain things and answer certain questions that they might have, then a really good way of handling objections, meaning reasons why they might not take action on this page, we can do that with FAQs. So you can see he and his team have got a whole bunch of them down here. So hopefully for someone who's on the fence, they're not quite sure, they've got a question, hopefully that question get answered down here and then they opt in, right? Now notice something else that they've done that's pretty cool is a lot of people will scroll very quickly to the bottom of the page, and here we have another reinforced call to action button. I think this is great. For the same reason as I shared over on the registration page, when someone scrolls past the action button, we do want to reinforce that again later on. And when it's on a sales page, it's just known in the marketing world, you have the scrollers. You have people that don't read the page and just scroll to the bottom to see what the bottom of the page does. And so having that button again is a really great idea. So overall, I really like the VIP page, and I think we've got a lot to take away from it. If somebody decides that they do want to upgrade to VIP, here's where I think we could improve slightly, is when they click on the button to upgrade, they're taken to a completely separate page, but the page itself redirects. If I click on this button, notice the VIP page is now gone, and we've actually redirected the page we were currently on, the tab we were on, to the checkout. I think that that's a mistake. Why? Because when you now take someone to a checkout page, that doesn't mean they're sold. It means that they're ready to perform the next click, they're ready to go to the next stage in the funnel, but it does not mean that they're actually going to commit and make a purchase. In fact, believe it or not, one of the statistics in our space is that an 80% cart abandonment rate is pretty normal. Meaning that 100 people click the button to come to the checkout page, 80 of them leave without making the payment. Only 20% do. So the conversion approach and the things we're doing in marketing to get them to buy is still well and truly in play. And by removing now the access to the previous page, if I land on this page and I go, I'm not really sold on this anymore, I don't really like what I see here, all of that other stuff that might have sold me on it, getting back to that video that Alex had, maybe I didn't watch the whole thing, maybe I didn't scroll down the page, maybe I want to go back and check out the bonuses, that's all gone. And I was also told on the previous page, don't leave or exit because you could screw up the process here. So now I, as a punter, might be nervous to hit the back button thinking that that cancels my registration. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why I would have opened this in a new tab, or what I would have preferred to do, in fact, I know that I can hit the back button. What I'd prefer to do is have the click of that button, scroll the page, and at the bottom of the page, we have all the information to make the purchase. Basically, take all of that checkout information and put it on the same VIP upgrade page so that it's all on the same page, so that if I need to scroll back up to see something, I can. That's what I would have done. But let's go back to the VIP checkout page. What we've got over here is entering your information to make your purchase. That's totally fine. That's normal. We've also got what's called an order bump, which is when someone's already about to make a purchase, then we offer them something else that they might want and they can just tick a box. Now, there is a danger of doing this wrong. In this case, I don't believe Alex has done this, but there's a danger of doing this wrong, which is that you have an order bump that feels like if you don't take that this becomes less valuable. So what I mean by that is, if you have a 22, well, it was a $30 thing, wasn't it? So £22 for me here in the UK. We have a £22 thing, and then I'm offered an order bump for, let's say, £100, but the order bump sounds like the better experience. Well, now I'm actually doubting whether I even process my order at all, because now I'm deciding, well, do I want to go to the event with the better version, And if I don't take the better version, is this now worth it? Right? So you can actually confuse your buyers by having an order bump. So just be very, very careful not to do that. In this case, Alex and his team have done a good job at that, where they're not offering something that is competing with the thing they're about to buy, right? What they're about to buy is a VIP upgrade and a hard copy of the book. And now they're being offered more books and some extra playbooks and trainings. And so if you don't take this, this holds just as much value, which is really important. Now, the order bump that they decided to go with is quite interesting, because we have gone with 15 more books. The very thing they're about to buy, they're going to get 15 of them for $450. Now, you might say, well, who in their right mind is going to do that? Why is someone going to want 15? I remember a friend of mine, Drew Canoli, we were talking about his business Organifi at the time, and it was a green juice powder. And when someone would buy a tub of the green juice powder, then on the next page, they would just be offered more of the same. Hey, you just bought a tub of this stuff. Would you like 5 more? Would you like 10 more? Would you like 15 more? And to his surprise, it actually worked insanely well. And people liked the fact that they could get a little discount by getting a bulk order. So I imagine, I know Alex is friends with Drew as well, I imagine they've probably talked about this and this was an idea they wanted to implement, and it worked pretty really well. Now, I have no idea if this works well or not. For me, I wouldn't buy this. This just doesn't entice me in any way, shape or form. However, we have to be careful as business owners, entrepreneurs, marketers, that we don't build our businesses and build our sales funnels for us, because not everyone takes action in the way that we do, right? So even though I wouldn't buy this, that's not to say other people wouldn't be enticed by this. And again, I would like to think that Alex and his team are testing this and seeing how well it's working or not, and that they would pivot and make some adjustments if it wasn't, all right? So whether you buy the VIP upgrade or not, either way, you're taken to the final registration confirmation page. Now on this page, there's one thing Alex missed, and there's another thing that I think he did really, really well. The thing that he missed is that when you get someone to register for a virtual event, you want to continue getting more and more what we call buy-in. Buy-in being, we want them to feel so invested in the event that they've just registered for that you're going to increase attendance rate because they can't help but attend, right? It's so easy for someone to register for an online webinar or a virtual event or a book launch in this case, and then just not show up, right? Life gets in the way, they get distracted, their buy-in was low, and so then their intent to attend was also low. So once someone registers, we want to do and say lots of different things to increase the buy-in, make them feel a part of it, give them more things to do, give them some tasks, give them even bits of homework or pre-book launch trainings, like give them some more stuff to watch. The more of that type of stuff that you do, the more they feel invested, the buy-in goes up, the attendance rate goes up too. What I see on this page is a pretty standard confirmation page, which just confirms the date and time, adds it to the calendar. You know, that's pretty good. That's kind of it. You know, there's information about a referral program, and that is it. If I was Alex and I want to be getting 1 million people registered for this thing, I want to get as many of those people as possible to feel a part of perhaps a community. I might give them some workbooks to go through before the book launch. I might build some anticipation with some other videos that they can watch that builds the excitement for the event that they're about to be a part of. Maybe you could even give them some kind of onboarding document. That's what we do at the wintheclients.com challenge, is when someone registers for that training, then we give them a chance to be onboarded, you know, just as a client would. I really want people to feel a part of the event and feel special. And again, it increases attendance rate. So I do think they missed the buy-in there. And we'll see, time will tell what that does for attendance rate. But what they do really well is they do have this referral program. And this is super cool. We've got mention of it at the very top, and we've got mention of it at the very bottom. Both links take you to this page where now, you know, this is where we can get a bit of buy-in, is people referring other people to the event, you know, and winning some prizes and all sorts of cool stuff. There's something called the network effect, which is when you have people that become a part of your world, if they tell 2 people about what they're doing with you, and then those 2 people tell 2 people, and those 2 people tell 2 people, with literally just a handful of these layers of communication spreading, you can start reaching tens of thousands of people that you otherwise wouldn't have reached by just having a handful of people incentivized to tell other people. So this is a great idea to have on the back of a virtual event, a training, or an online course or something like that is to have a referral scheme that's really attractive, really exciting, and entices people to tell their friends. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Hormozi's funnel, you will love this video right here where I show a sales funnel that made me $938,000 in a single month, and I show you why it worked and how you can replicate it. So check that out. Hope you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.